Today we're going to start out with a problem of the day instead of with our Spark Your Learning. So today we're going to try to figure out which of the following expressions are equivalent to the whole number 240. Remember, equivalent means that it equals that. So I'm going to give you a minute to go through these and try and figure out which ones equal 240. Okay. Once again, we are trying to find out what equals 240. Now, if we go here and we multiply, I'm going to change that back. I'm going to change it to black. If we multiply 8 times 3, that is equal to 24. That is not 240, is it? So that is definitely not that. All right, now we have 8 times 30. Let's think about that a little bit. 8 times 3 is 24, but it's not 8. This is 8 times 30, so we've had that 0 there. So if we add a 0 onto the end, is that 240? It is. So we're going to circle that one. How about this one? 80 times 3. Well, I know that 8 times 3 is equal to 24, but I have that 0 there. So I'm going to add that to that. So does 80 times 3 equal 240? It absolutely does. All right. 6 times 4. Well, I know for a fact that that is equal to 24 and not 240. So that's not one that we're going to be looking at. But let's take a look at this next one. I know that 6 times 4 is equal to 24. And then, of course, we have that 0 there that we have to add on because it's 240. How about 60 times 40? Or sorry, 60 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Then once again, we're adding that 0 on. So these two right here are also equal to 240. So if you guess that B, C, E, and F are all equivalent to 240, you would be correct. Good job. All right, now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our assignment for today. We've got a couple of tasks that we're going to be looking at. Today we're learning how to use a pattern to multiply multiples of 10, 100, and 1,000. Now, if you remember our powers, our exponents, 10 right here would be 10 to the first power. 100 would be 10 to the second power. And 1,000 would be 10 to the third power, because again, we have 1 0, we have 2 zeros, and we have 3 zeros. Okay, just a nice little reminder of what those are. We are going to go ahead and take a look at what our I can statement is. It says, I can, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's change this to our highlighter. And let's go to yellow. And we're going to make it bigger. I can use mental math to find the product of any two numbers that have one non-zero digit and are multiples of 10, 100, or 1,000. So that's what we're going to be focusing our energy on today. So let's take a look at it. Here we go. Step it out. There are 60 students participate in a jump-a-thon, and each student jump ropes 400 times. What is the total number of jumps? Okay, so they're asking me, what is the total number of jumps? All right, so again, I'm going to reread that one more time. There are 60 students participating in a jump-a-thon, and each student jumps rope 400 times. What is the total number of jumps? Okay, the first question that's going to ask us is complete a multiplication equation to model the total number of jumps. So 60 students. We have our 60 there. So I'm going to highlight that. 60 and 60 times what? We want to find out how many number of jumps. So the total number of jumps. So we're going to go 60 times, let's change this to 400. Do you guys agree with me? Okay, so I'm going to type in here 400 to see if that works. Good job, you guys. That's excellent. Okay, so now we're going to scroll on down and look at the next question that is asking us. Complete the multiplication fact. 6 times 4. Well, I've got that one memorized, but if you couldn't figure that out, you could do a few things to figure that out. But I do know that 6 times 4 is equal to, that's right, 24. Good job. So the product of 6 and 4 is 24. The basic multiplication fact is 6 times 4 equals 24. Well, that's nice. Okay, here comes my exponents, and I love my exponents. Okay, so 6 times 40 is still, I want to show you this. 6 times 40 is still 6 times 4. But then we're going to add a 10 to the 10 to it. So now it's 6 times 4 times 10 to the first power. So what does that equal? Let's go ahead and think about that. So 6 times 4 is what? 24. So we know for sure it's going to be 24. It's going to be part of the answer. And then we're going to have 1 0 after that. Do you guys agree with me? Because there's one number here. So we're going to have 1 0. So I'm going to click and drag my 24 plus 1 0 up there. Why aren't you working, little hand? There we go. All right, good. Now we've got 6 times 400. Well, we know that 6 times 400 is equal to 6 times 4, right? Plus 2 zeros. Well, yeah, we know that. Okay, so 6 times 4 is 24. Remember, we talked about that right there. So 24, and then we're going to add 2 zeros. So let's go here. We're going to go 24 and add 2 zeros. Come here, little hand. All right. Excellent, excellent work. Now, we have 6 times 400 equals 6 times 10 times 6 times, or 4 times 10 to the second power. 6 times 4 times 10 to the 10 to the second power. And 6 times 4 times 10 to the third power. All right, guys. So we know we're going to have 24, but how many zeros are we going to have after that? It tells you right here. How many zeros? All right, let's find our 24 with 3 zeros. Let's see if we can find it. Right there. I'm going to click and drag it. All right. Let's check our work, see if we did it right. Yay, it worked good. I like it. All right. So what is the total number of jumps? Well, now we got to figure that back out again, don't we? The total number of jumps is going to be 24,000. Let's put that in. Make sure we're right. 24,000. Good thinking. Excellent work, guys. Here is our second task. So let's go ahead and see what they want us to do here. I'm going to get out my highlighter because it helps me pick out the numbers that I need. Okay, so 50 students each jump rope 2,000 times during the jump-a-thon. I read it through that first time just to get an idea of what they're talking about. I'm going to read it through again to try and pull out some of the numbers that I think I need. So 50 students, I think that's an important number, each jump rope 2,000 times during the jump-a-thon. Okay. All right, so that gave me the information that I need. Now I need to figure out what they're trying to ask me. So we've got 50 students each jump rope 2,000 times during the jump-a-thon. Complete a multiplication equation to model the number of jumps completed by the 50 students. Okay, so it looks like they already had the 50 right there from our 50 students. So we're multiplying 50 times what? Well, we need to know how many numbers of jumps. Well, we know that they each did 2,000. So I'm going to put, because I think it's right, I'm going to put in here 2,000 and see if it's correct. Do you guys agree with me? Let's check. Excellent. Good thinking. Okay, each student jumps 2,000 times. To find the total number of jumps, I multiply 2,000 by the number of students, which is 50. The equation is 5 times 2,000. Now, I don't know what that equals yet because we're going to try and figure that out together. Okay, here we go. This one's an easy one. I know this one. Okay, 5 times 2. What does that equal? If you guessed 10, you are absolutely right. So I'm going to take that 10, and if my hand will work, I'm going to drop that in up there. Okay, so from here on out, I know that 10 is going to be part of my answer, because if you notice, we have 5 and 2, 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 okay? All right, so here we go. We know that 5 times 2 is 10, but we've added a 0 there, so we've made it 5 times 20. So we're going to have to add a 0 to our answer here. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus another 0, right? So we're going to go ahead. So we need, so 5 times 2 is 10. I want to change that to black again, and I want to make it tiny. 5 times 2 is 10, and then we got to add another 0. So I think that's going to be 100. Do you guys agree? Let's take a peek. Let's go here. We're going to drag our 100 up to there. All right. So here again, we've got 5 times 2 is 10. And then we've got to multiply that by another 2 zeros. So 10 times 10. So that would equal how many? We've got to add 10 more, or 2 more zeros. So that would be 10 and 2 zeros. Let's see if that's right. Let's go ahead and put that in there. So I'm going to click here and drag and drop it to there. All right, next one. 5 times 2, I know. Silly, that moved, didn't it? 5 times 2, I know, is 10. But then I have to multiply it by 3 more 10, so I'm going to add 3 more zeros to it. So that would be 10 plus 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that looks like 10,000 to me. Let's drag and drop and see. See what we see. Excellent. Now, last one. Here we know. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, we're going to jump down here. 5 times 2 is 10. And then we're going to multiply that by 10 to the 4th power. So we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 more after that to give us 100,000. Let's go ahead and drag that up here and drop it in. I'm going to check my answers to make sure that I did that right, because you know, who knows, maybe I didn't. Oh, look at that. Okay, so that is that. Now we need to answer the question. Let's see, how many jumps were completed by these students? Well, 5 times 2, or 50 times 2,000 is 100,000. So I'm going to go put that in here. 100,000. Let's check it. Excellent. All right, now it's your turn. You guys are now going to go ahead and complete the check for understanding. And when you are done with that, then you can go ahead and go into your reflex math. Nice work.